was Flat Stanley's last day in Sweden. He was tired and not quite so flat, for he had eaten his way through the country and was starting to feel kind of fat. He'd been to an Indian restaurant and met a nice man called Ashish. He'd eaten at a Greek taverna, trying olives and good feta cheese. He went to Uncle Bob's Swedish arbeta, or job to you people at home, to meetings and desks and computers, and played with SpongeBob by the phone. His Aunt Karen took him to Valand and Chalmers to meet all her friends. There were artists galore, an international store, language from all the world's ends. He ate a dungeon meal, where pancakes and bacon were served. He saw a moose eating with zeal, and on a menu as an hors d'oeuvre. He knew he must travel tomorrow, back to Heartland where Sarah was at. But to fit the envelope suitcase, he must work out until he was flat. He had walked much and ridden in buses and trams when bags were carried, but in a city surrounded by water, he still hadn't been on a ferry. So his last day was upon him, and he still had a list to complete. With places to go and people to see, he had quite a schedule to beat. But the key to his last day was exercise, for the envelope was now far too tight. So he crisscrossed the town, went up hills and down, and saw even more of the sights. His hosts made him go to a trade show, where travel was all of the day. He thought he'd be bored, but found more than fjords. He found lots to learn and to play. He saw Greek people dancing, and Syrians prancing. A Brazilian band was to play. A pink bus was so cool, and it broke all the rules, but the soccer dude's show made his day. He took a ferry to Lindholmen and got a little damp, ran out of film halfway there, and had to go back to base camp. He got his Swedish fika. A better snack couldn't be found. Then the record board at the towers, and the elevator ride up and down. He met Bjorn and Katrin and Sally, Diana, Melissa and Bob, Uskur and Simon and Jonne, Anders and Daniel the Slob. So was Fat Stanley's day so productive that he'd get back in his traveling case. You'll just have to see and say, "Oh gee," to the man where he did have to face. But Flat Stanley just had to be flat, to travel around like a bat. We were glad that he came and told us his name and spent a few nights on our mat.